Hey there everyone, Hitesh here, back again with another video. Now in this video we want to talk about the hybrid app versus native apps. So in case you want to get started with the application development, we are gonna focus on that. So in this video you'll find out what is hybrid app, what is native app, in case if you are a company, which one is gonna suit for you. In case you are a learner or student, which one you should really move on. We will also compare some of the pricing points as well as if you have some experience, which one you should go for, or if you're completely getting started as a new beginner, which one is going to be right for you. So a ton of information is packed in this video and we're going to talk about all of them. So let's get started here. So hybrid app versus native app. Now, before we get started into the nitty-gritty world of hybrid versus native mobile application, there is one aspect of mobile that you should always be aware of. Mobile phones are very personal devices. So if you are building apps for both iOS and Android users without the same perspective, it's not gonna work. That's for sure. As it stands, most mobile devices use one of the two dominant operating systems on the world, and Google developed Android, which takes almost the majority of like 49% of the mobile world market share, and on the other hand Apple developed iOS, which takes almost 41% of the mobile share. So these data are very critical and very important before you want to jump and start your application. Now, a native app is a smartphone application developed specifically for mobile operating system. Like if you want to say, think about Swift for iOS and Java for Android. Since the app is developed within the mature ecosystem following the technical users and user guideline experience provided by the OS itself, like the swipe gestures or alignment on the left side or the center for the Android and iOS. Now, of course, they offer the fastest and the most reliable and most responsive experience to the user. App will have the look and feel and consistency within the most other native apps which are built into the devices. Native applications have the significant advantage of being able to easily accessible and utilize the built-in capabilities of the user's device itself. Like for example, if you want to just say GPS or maybe your address book or your camera, tons of other things. While on the other hand, if we talk about the hybrid applications are at core website package wrapped into a native wrapper, sometimes PhoneGap or others. They look and feel like the native app, but ultimately outside the basic frame of the application, they are powered by the company's website itself. For example, sites like Facebook or Netflix, it doesn't really make sense to launch a native app platform or even to recompile their app for just one feature. It's gonna take a lot of time and it's too heavy. So it really makes sense for them to just get started with the hybrid application. Now, hybrid app can also use native functionality like camera on GPS, but via some third-party plugins, and a lot of code need to be enclosed with that. While on the other hand, the native application are pretty easy to use or utilize those functionality like camera or your GPS. It's pretty easy there. Okay, now let's talk about which one is right for you. So if you're a company and you're looking to get started with the app market, it's going to be a good research. Like you are already dominant in the web like Facebook or Netflix and your content flows like an insane amount, then having a native app would be a tough decision, while hybrid app will suit you more. On the other hand, if you're just getting started for the mobile market, then take some time, do some research, like where the maturity of the audience that you really want to hit is actually relying, whether they are on Android or iOS. Like if you just talk about just random experience, let's just say like in Indian market, the Android is going to be the first choice for launching your app, or if your target audience is in the United States, then it's going to be for sure iOS. If it's going to be paid app, I would surely go for the iOS first without any doubt. But if I really want to hit the majority of the market with the free team or free app, then surely I would go for the Android. Now, if you're an individual and trying to learn the mobile application development, then think a little bit. If you are already having a web-based skills, so go with the hybrid apps. But keep in mind that the salary point of view, native app developers are actually a little bit higher and are on top of the hybrid app developer. But again, if you don't want to switch for the mobile development market or mobile development skills, surely go for hybrid apps and just quickly finish the project. And if you already have web-based skills, you will feel right at the home with the hybrid apps. Now, for the non-web developers or who are just getting started in the programming, now again, think a little bit what you want to do. Which one is gonna be the thing that makes you more exciting? And obviously, the big question is, do you have a Mac? No? Then iOS is going to be a little bit bumpy ride. Now, I know a lot of you will come in the comment section below and will say, it's possible to install a Mac on a virtual machine, or you can use the very famous services like macincloud.com. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, it can be done with, but you won't be much comfortable there. And obviously, if you spend that much amount of time in learning iOS by buying a Mac, if that's possible, then it's going to be a much more decision. Keeping in mind that you have a time constraint there. Of course, money is there, but time is there as well. Now, if you're interested in getting started with the Android, then there is no such barrier. You can get started with the Java and there you go. Now, it's always about what excites you the most. And more importantly, what is your target audience using that you want to hit with your app? Now, if your target audience that you want to really hit is using the Android most, really it makes sense to learn Android. But again, keep in mind that from the salary point of view, with the current perspective of the market, if you look for various the scales that a lot of company gives out, Android is a little bit on to the lower side and iOS is on to a little bit higher side. I'm not saying that Android developers don't earn money. They really do hit really great. And in fact, it's moreover a saturated market and a lot of people want to have the developers with the Android skills. But again, if you talk about the iOS, it's a little bit higher. It's like just a close hit there. So there you go. Now you have a little bit knowledge and understanding what is a hybrid app, what is a native app. I'm looking forward which one you're going to start. Now in case you want to get started with the iOS development, I'll link down below a great course link and you can get started with there. Of course, I'm not saying take the course right now. Just read out few reviews, check out free movies and then decide it yourself. Now, as I always say, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do hit the subscribe button, make sure you like the videos and share it with someone who can get benefit with that. Now with this, I'll catch you up in the next video.